Okay, picture this for a second. A village, maybe somewhere pretty war-torn. The power grid, basically gone. Banks
Hmm.
closed down. There's that constant background noise of instability.
Yeah,
But then you hear something else, this kind of steady whirring, maybe from behind a craft wall. It's crypto mining rigs.
right.
So today we're doing a deep dive into this sort of hidden world of crypto mining in places really facing conflict. Syria, Ukraine, Gaza, parts of Africa too.
And it's fascinating why it's happening, isn't it? It really stems from the collapse of normal financial systems.
Exactly. When you just can't get to your money, the currency is maybe worthless, borders are blocked.
Mm-hmm.
Then something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, which is,
Mm.
borderless, nobody can really stop you from using it.
Yeah,
That becomes, well, critical.
a lifeline almost. And the only real basics you need, some kind of power and some kind of internet, even if it's spotty.
And the ways people make that happen are just incredible. Our sources talk about these DIY crypto farms, sometimes literally in bombed out buildings.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Think old car batteries maybe hooked up to power these graphics cards.
It's the GPUs doing the actual mining work, right?
Exactly, doing those calculations. Or maybe solar panels scavenged and patched onto a roof. Hardware that's been smuggled in somehow. Generators running on, well, whatever fuel they can find.
It's survival tech, really. So who are the people actually running these kinds of operations?
Well, it's quite a mix, born out of necessity, We hear about soldiers, rebel groups in some cases, but also just ordinary civilians.
Really, just regular people.
Yeah, in places like Syria, parts
Yeah.
of Ukraine, crypto mining just becomes another way to maybe earn something, a side hustle for survival, basically.
Okay, but here's where it gets maybe more complicated.
Hmm?
The power dynamics.
Ah,
In places where the government's basically absent, whoever controls the electricity source,
yeah.
well, they often end up controlling the mining, right?
That's a key point. It can create this flow of funds that's pretty anonymous, difficult to trace.
And sources suggest that, unfortunately, this can be used to fund all sorts of things, equipping armed groups, paying for escapes.
It does become a bit like a new gold rush, but digital, in areas where the state structure has just crumbled.
But hang on, isn't the whole point of blockchain that it's decentralized?
Yeah.
How can one group control it?
That's a great question. The network, the blockchain itself, is decentralized, but the physical stuff you need to participate, the power lines, the internet connection points.
Ah, the actual infrastructure on the ground.
Exactly. That's often very centralized or easily controlled in a specific area. So control those physical points, and you have a lot of leverage over who can mine there and how.
Gotcha. Okay. But it's not. It's not all shadowy, is it? There are other sides to this.
Oh, definitely not. The sources also highlight some really quite inspiring grassroots uses.
Like what?
Well, in Ukraine, for example, there have been projects using mining profits to directly fund humanitarian aid efforts.
Oh,
And you hear stories from places like Venezuela, where families hit hard by the economy have turned to mining just, to buy food, basic survival.
so it really is like a digital Wild West. You've got the good, the bad, the desperate, all using the same tech.
Precisely. That duality is what's so striking. The same tool can be used for potentially harmful activities, but also for providing absolutely essential support. It shows technology itself isn't inherently good or bad, right?
Right. It's all about the context, who's using it, and why.
Mm-hmm. The context and the actors involved.
And what's really remarkable is how little we hear about this. The news is always full of Bitcoin price swings in, like New York or London.
Yeah, the speculation aspect.
But this really fundamental use case, in places under extreme duress, it just flies completely under the radar. It sort of challenges that whole narrative, doesn't it? That crypto is just for speculation.
It absolutely does. While, the focus in stable economies is often on price, regulation, NFTs, whatever, this shows a totally different side. A life-sustaining role where the old systems are broken.
So I guess the takeaway is, well, yeah, some people are still skeptical about crypto.
And understandably so, sometimes.
Our deep dive today shows that in the absolute worst circumstances, it can actually be more than just money. It could be a genuine lifeline.
You really can. Which maybe leaves us with a final thought for everyone listening. In a world that feels increasingly unstable, could something like cryptocurrency, with all its issues, actually represent a strange kind of resilience? Maybe even, a flicker of hope in some corners of the digital age?